You may have heard people say, if you can imagine it, you can achieve it. Well, there's some truth in that, because just imagining your success in your mind beforehand can actually help you achieve it for real. From winning Olympic gold to passing your driving test, a technique practiced by some of the world's greatest Olympians could help you tackle the challenges in your own life. And the good news is, it's surprisingly easy to do. In fact, you're probably doing it without even knowing it. This is visualization. You'd be hard-pushed to find an Olympian who doesn't use visualization in some way or another. Sprinters, divers, skiers, tennis players, archers, figure skaters. Creating a psychological image of an upcoming competition is pretty much universal for world-class athletes.
I visualize my motion, my movement, utilizing and executing my game plan. I try to visualize that perfect match.
私はやはり世界で戦うためにはそのレースの環境でどういうふうに戦うのだろうかっていうものをイメージトレーニングでイメージする。
Now, it probably won't come as a surprise to you that world-class athletes picture their competitions beforehand in their heads. But what may surprise you is just how detailed these images are.
するんです。それはもし暑いレースであれば給水をたくさんしっかりとって細かなところまでレースのイメージを作って、さらには最後フィニッシュをしてやった勝てたっていう本当に勝手にガッツポーズまでやった。
But it's about more than just seeing your success before you achieve it. You can train your mind to feel it, hear it, even smell it. In fact, that's why many people use the terms visualization and imagery interchangeably.
Lots of athletes and coaches use the term visualization and imagery pretty much as the same thing, but as a sports psychologist, I'd like to distinguish between the two. So for me, visualization is all about seeing through the mind's eyes, but imagery takes up a notch. So it's as if you're watching regular television and then taking it to high definition because you add in so much more information because you're using all your senses. So your hearing, your emotions, what you're tasting, and even importantly for sport, what you're feeling in terms of your muscles moving, your heart beating faster, your breathing rate going up. And so imagery is a much richer, multi-sensory experience.
Let's see what's going on in your brain when you do this. When you imagine something, your brain is taking bits from lots of your memories and putting them together, kind of like building blocks. You've probably never actually been on the starting blocks at the 100-meter final, but you can still picture it because your brain is taking lots of things you have seen or experienced in the past and combining them together into a new image. You've seen what a stadium looks like, you've heard the sound of an excited crowd before, you may even have felt a running track with your fingers. Combining all these memories together, your mind is able to visualize and create that image. There are a lot of complex neurological processes taking place that allow you to do this, many of which are happening in the part of your brain which deals with what you can see, but also the areas which physically control your muscles and are in charge of balance, movement, and coordination. So when you're daydreaming about playing soccer after work, you may not realize it, but your brain is actually already training for the game.
When you image, similar parts of the brain are being activated than when you're actually doing something. So let's say you're throwing a ball. That would involve an arm movement. And when you imagine yourself throwing that ball, the parts of the brain involved with planning and executing an arm action would then become involved. And so what scientists think is that the neural pathways are being practiced and rehearsed through imagery that allows you then to be able to better do those actions in real life.
でその時にすぐに自転車を出動させるそのイメージを持って今日いいレースをしようねって目をつぶって自分が使うアイテムたちに命を吹き込むじゃないですけど手を添えて目をつぶって変な話私と出会ってくれてありがとうっていうような思いを込める時間を作っています。
Just thinking about an action fires a signal from our brain to our muscles. Our muscles don't necessarily do the thing we're imagining, but the neurological pathway from the brain to the muscles is still strengthened. Just like how you train your body through exercise, you are training your brain through visualization. So how do you get started with imaging to become a visualization master, like Ayueda, or Jordan Burroughs, or Thomas Rühler? The funny thing is, you're doing it already.
I'm very much sure that people from out of sports can learn a lot from sports, not just in terms of values, also in terms of mindset, in terms of visualization. And they can form challenges. They can go out, they can just grow their business better by visualizing of where they want to be. What is your goal?
We're already using imagery in our everyday lives. When we experience daydreaming, spontaneous things that come into our head when we hear a song on the radio, lost a pair of keys and we're trying to find it. That's the way we typically experience imagery. What's the difference for athletes is that they've already realized that this is an important skill and that they're using it in the same way they use any physical skill. But as an everyday person, you can still benefit in all the same ways that an athlete would.
So if you're already doing it, how can you optimize it? How can you improve your visualization technique? How can you hack this skill you already have and turn it into something that can really help you in your everyday life? Well, the first step is to learn the layering technique.
One of the techniques that we've really developed to help people use imagery is building imagery in layers. So let's say we take someone who hasn't done imagery before. One of the first things that we'll do is get them to image something that comes easily to mind. So let's say, going out for a run through a local park, take a few moments just to bring that image to mind based on your memory of having done that recently. And as you image it, just try and be aware of some of the details. So, what are you seeing? What are you feeling? What are you hearing? And at that point, we kind of pause the exercise and say, okay, so what did you find easy or difficult to image? And so for most people, they find it easier to see something through their imagery rather than feeling it. So that's our first layer. And so we'll revisit that same image again, but this time only focus on what they're seeing. So for example, themselves going down this path, what the weather conditions are like, maybe some details of the environment around them. And then once they get comfortable with that, we work out what's the next easiest thing for them to image. And so for a lot of people, it could be something that's very tactile. And then we build from there a third, a fourth, a fifth layer until we get a real multisensory image that includes sight, sound, taste, smell, and emotions, and that kind of kinesthetic feel of how your body is working through that image.
How much of athletics and success is mental and how much is physical? I think that your mind is extremely powerful. There's only so much you could do. If I put weight on a bar, there's only so much that I could lift. But you could really take your mind into a deep, deep place. And I do as much mental training and mental conditioning as I do physical conditioning. There are a lot of people out there that are good athletes, a lot that are strong, explosive, fast, but very few of those people are able to make it to the highest level. And so I think a lot of it is mental, and it's something that can be taught, something that can be established, manifested within someone, and then also developed over a long period of time.
Mentally preparing and training your brain is the key to help you up your game. And that goes beyond the sports field in all areas of life. Having an Olympic state of mind could help you unlock your full potential.